How's it going, everybody? I am Donut, and this is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. This is Broad City Season 3, Episode 6, Philadelphia. Which, I guess they're just going to Philadelphia. It's gonna just be, you know, this whole show is very much so about New York. Like, it really treats New York like a character, and it is, you know, all about New York. So, it's gonna be very interesting going outside of there for once, because, I don't think we've had a single episode where we have left New York yet, surprisingly. Maybe they have gone somewhere. I don't think so. I don't think even for like 5 minutes in an episode we have. And, so, yep, no real predictions. It's just pretty obvious they're gonna go to Philadelphia. Let's jump into it. If you want to get the reaction, check it out in the description below. If you want to get the full length, check it out on the Patreon below for $4 a month. The energy of her dad is so out of this world. It's so weird. Like, it's definitely that I've met so many people like that, and it's just inexplicable where that energy is coming from. So much. So, not what I was expecting. I really expected that we were going to be focusing more on Philadelphia as a city, considering, you know, the show is all about New York as a city. But they weren't even in Philadelphia. They were just in the boroughs west of Philadelphia. So, yeah, that is not what I was expecting, but this is exactly what I wanted, getting more of Abby's past. And, you know, we haven't seen her mother yet. We've only seen her father with Alana. We've only seen her mother, haven't seen her father. So now we can, you know, do the opposite of both of those eventually at some point. Abby's room is so, yeah, like as Alana put it, it is the single kid room. Like, I have never been a single child, but I have had stepsisters and half-sisters and all that, so I have had periods of my life in which I was living as a only child, essentially, for small periods. So we also moved around a hell of a lot in my youth, so I know this so extremely well. I also just, like, of family members, like, I have an aunt who is my age. That's too complicated to get into. But, and, like, the bed with the pull-out bed and all the, like, hippy-dippy stuff all over the place is 100%. Yeah, which is very weird coming from my aunt, who's very straight edge. Still had all of the hippie shit all over the place. But yeah, like, it is so filling me with nostalgia looking at the room. And also all of the, like, the signs that are like a... like, how do I put, like, the think, don't be a litter bug, caution, open door slowly, the, like, you know, shit you would put on your door of, like, warning, bad kid inside. Just all that's just so cringy. But, oh, and yet at the time it felt so, like, this is who I am. All the stuff, like, calling back to, like, the fish posters, the Elijah Wood poster, and all that sort of shit, like, getting callbacks to the stuff that we've known about Abby for, you know, a while was, I was really hoping we were gonna go do more in her room with, seeing more stuff from her, but, you know, in all honesty, the B plot with the JonBenet Ramsey Beanie Baby really, it was not that funny. Like, it was interesting, but it didn't really go anywhere interesting. Like, the bowling alley scene was the only really funny part of it. The rest of it kind of felt like I would have rather had that time been on something else. You know, even like where it ends in the end is not like a nice book or what am I saying, bookends, but it's just a kind of like a whatever ending. Yeah, not really that. It just felt like they didn't really have something for Alana to do in the episode for her to be obsessed over like she always is. But yeah, I don't know. That was not as good as I would have expected. I don't know. The JonBenet Ramsey's wanting the doll, like the actual family wanting the doll that was a good joke as well. And yeah, as I said, every time we get somebody working at a counter, it's always like the most like part-time workers as well, where none of them ever care at all, and they have like the most disdain possible for them always. Not just them, but just anybody always. So good. again, it's very, very real life. I've been to many, many stories of people like that, and I cannot blame them. It's also why it's so hilarious, because, like, I have been in that exact situation working, like, and acting like that myself, so I can't blame them. I know exactly what it's like. Again, with the dog taking the doll was just, it felt like kind of filler. Like, we didn't really, it didn't matter. That happening didn't change anything. There was no consequences for it. Just kind of felt pointless. The dog didn't come back up. The dog just came out of fucking nowhere, took a doll, and got it back, and that was it. Like, what was the point of that? This episode, not not the greatest. I really like the stuff with Abby and her father and her home, but in all honesty, all this stuff with returning the money and everything wasn't that good of a plot. It was alright. I think this whole season, I would say, has been a lot of, like, really good jokes mixed in with episodes that are generally not as good as the past 2 seasons. But the jokes sometimes are way better. It's just that they're in these relatively mediocre plot lines. And so I hope that sort of alleviates itself in the last half of the season here. Because, yeah, this whole season has been pretty mediocre, in all honesty. And it actually dawned on me that I have never ridden in a Jeep or just a car without doors. I don't know how I would feel about that if I was actually in that position. Like, you know, I could laugh at a lot of there, but to be fair, I will never get on a motorcycle or a moped or anything like that at all. Like, many, many times someone has been like, oh yeah, you can get on it and just, like, ride around the driveway really quick. Or just, do you just want to sit on it with it off and the keys not in it? And I'm like, no, I do not. I don't even want to do that. No, thank you. I am very, very afraid of motorcycles. I mean, as I just said, to the point where I won't even sit on it if the keys aren't in it. Just because I don't know. I have an irrational fear of motorcycles. There's no rational behind it. I don't even want to sit on it when it's not working. So, a Jeep, I feel like I would also equally be pretty terrified of it. I just don't like being the passenger in a car. It scares me in general. So to be one in one that doesn't have doors would probably terrify me even more now that I think about it. Yeah, I'm on Alana's side. It's crazy. It's crazy to drive a car without doors. I'm fully on board now. It is whack. It is interesting that Abby has a hell of a lot of trophies, which is not what I would expect. I mean, to be fair, they might be a lot of participation trophies or, like, second place, third place trophies, because, like, that is, I think, Abby's character is, like, number 2. That is really, like, what she is. She always is coming in, like, she is pretty good at a lot of stuff, but she is never as good as somebody else. Whoever it is, she's not going to be as good as them, which is, I think, like, the exemplary Abby character. Last episode, when we had the joke of, like, the oh, you're gonna look like someone who was on The Bachelor. Oh, but I mean somebody who went on The Bachelor and then thought they were too good for the show and then left. Like, that is quintessential Abby behavior. And yeah, the trophies, I feel like that's what it's gotta be. A lot of soccer stuff going on too. I don't know if we knew that she played soccer, but yeah, a lot of soccer specific stuff going on. Yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. I honestly wouldn't mind getting more of her dad, because we didn't really get a whole lot in this, and I wanted to get more. Like, there wasn't, like, a twist really or anything. It was just kind of like, here's her dad. And it's kind of, like, compared to the Alana's mom thing, I'm saying. Like, I liked a lot. This is the highlight of this episode, but compared to the Alana's mom thing, there wasn't, like, a lot of jokes specifically about them, you know? Like, about her being his dad or anything. About him being Abby's dad or anything. So, yeah, I don't know. I felt like they could have done, just in general this season, I felt they could have been doing more. But, yeah, that's it. See you guys for the next one. Until then, get the fuck out of here.